Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Another day in the markets today. This Hump Day, Wednesday, October 2019. All right, let's get going. So, what did we see in the markets yesterday? So, we actually saw SPY just sell off, closing just north of 4.5 points. You're seeing the typical gap up pre-market, but we're not looking for anything serious in SPY today. Probably looking for that reversal. We have a 284 price target for SPY. We're thinking that it's going to push down lower and obviously bring securities with it. The market yesterday, it was a gap down pre-market and it consolidated and obviously, tried to make that move to the north side, but then just dumped out again going into the close. So, we're anticipating the same kind of trap going into the session today. So we're gonna kick it off. We're gonna be bearish more or less, but we got a few securities we're thinking pushing to the upside. So we're gonna kick it off with Tesla. We got 6 on our watch. Tesla, obviously, as you can see, had a decent day yesterday, quite low for their ATR, but nonetheless closed up a little north in 2 points. Had a little action after hours and pushing higher pre-market. We think it's going to go another maybe 3-4 points. If obviously we have a 245 and it's probably going to tap this thing relatively soon in the market, and then at that point we think it's going to pull back. So depending on where it's going to open up, it'll give us a few points to the upside. If not, then we anticipate it's going to get stuffed out and push lower because it's trading in this descending channel here. So bullish depending on exactly where the price kicks off once the bell rings and things get underway. Next up, we got Costco. Costco closed down just north of a point and a half. With the market obviously, sold off at the bell. It had a pretty decent day up until that point. As you can see here, it sold off almost 2.5 points from its intraday high, with obviously the rest of the market. But overall, long term, we think it's definitely strong candidate to keep pushing higher. We think obviously that 300 level is the imminent price all eyes are on. So we're gonna keep pushing higher. If this thing lives above VWAP and pulls back to VWAP nicely and holds, definitely put on some size and see if you can take this thing to a nice ride to the north side. Because at the end of the day, it's got a 5-point ATR, which is decent. Next up, we got Ring. Obviously, we're stalking this thing. You know how it is. We'd see it putting lower highs and lower lows. It's in this channel, as you can see. But you can also see it's putting lower highs and lower lows, which we like. Obviously, selling it into the close with the rest of the market, of course. But it didn't really do anything before that. It was living above VWAP most of the day, but it just couldn't peel off it. So that was a good indication that it's getting weak. Obviously, volume's drying up as well. So we can see this thing fade out. Our 153 price target is what we got going on, and we're still confident with this price. Again, needs to be crystal clear. It's going to dance around. Don't think it's just going to fall off the cliff. At the end of the day, it will try to catch a lot of chasers, but at the end of the day, this thing, despite some of the analysts that are having price targets a little higher, do not buy that shit for a second. So we're bearish on RNG. SRPT, it's cracking through pre-market. We think it's going to push lower. We have $75 price target, and at the end of the day, it was a seriously orchestrated move on the 4th, pushing prices higher for just fall off a cliff. This on the 7th or 6th. I'm sorry, on Friday it gapped up, and then obviously the 7th just fell off a cliff. So that was just a setup, crystal clear setup, and it was just what dumped out. You have almost 8 points on Monday. So look for some continued selling. We think this is just tier 2. Yesterday was just a pause, closing down just shy of half a point. And next up, we got Ulta, ULTA. And so it closed down just shy of 6 points. We think it's going to push lower to that 233-ish level. Obviously trading in this channel right now. To the upside of that channel, but we think it's going to start pushing lower, continuing in its bearish sentiment, excuse me. So we got obviously 233 price target for Ulta. UNH, we're going to wrap it up here. Again, this thing, as you can see, it's getting stuffed out. Obviously on the 15 minutes, you can see on this chart on the top right, it's kind of holding its levels. It's closed down just north of a point, but that being said, we think it's pushed higher just to obviously come down a little bit lower. So we have a 215-ish. price, but we want to see this thing live below VWAP for a majority of the morning and get stuffed at any of these levels that we have on the charts here. So that's what we got, guys. We're going to keep it tight. We got 6. We got some other gaps we're looking at as well, but we're not in no rush to trade today. So if something sets up perfectly, we will take it down. So that's what we got, guys. Any questions, reach out to us. As always, just be patient with price, patient with your setups, and respect your stops. If you're wrong, cut your losses and step back, reevaluate your thesis. If you're right, hop back in. All right, guys.